Thanks for coming to this session. We'll be talking about taking ransomware to task with next generation Windows Defender. My name is Tim Kirk. This is Bill Pfeiffer and Shaker Sexna. What we'll be talking to you today is ransomware landscape and what's new in Windows 10, coming soon from Windows Defender Security Center, as well as a live Windows Defender cloud demo. So protecting the digital world is more important than ever, with a large majority of our experiences are captured digitally. With our mission at Microsoft to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more, security threats like ransomware are the bane to productivity, and is the top of mind of most customers in the SecOps world. Why is it so invasive? Well, because attacks happen fast and are hard to stop. Verizon did a data breach analysis report in 2016 where it identified if an attacker sends an email to 100 people in your company, 30 people would open it. 12 people would open the attachment or click the link, and guess how long it would take? In 3 minutes and 45 seconds, all those would have clicked through. With the ransomware landscape as it is today, looking at all malware that gets sent through spam, about 90% of all email malware is ransomware related. So at Microsoft, we understand that security is important to our customers, but sometimes we all need a little help. That's why we believe in a defense-in-depth approach to security, which we will be covering. But before that, let's take a look at the ransomware landscape. A look back in 2016, we see ransomware as an ever-growing global threat, which is the top of mind of most folks because of its destructive capabilities on a company's productivity. The US alone accounts for 15% of all ransomware encounters in 2016, with a trend moving towards Asia regions. Some of the more sophisticated attacks have localized their messaging and attacks to the specific languages, cultures, and behaviors to maximize total impact. A brief look at the graph on the right shows the top 5 ransomwares in the top 5 countries. We can extrapolate information like, for example, server plays a predominantly large role throughout the world, except for Russia, probably due to the fact that it originated within that Russia area, and they're trying to avoid local authorities. Another example is Crotone, which is extremely prevalent in Italy, has a larger presence recently because they started localizing their attack to Italian for greater market penetration. Using information like this and other data points, we disseminate information through our Microsoft Intelligent Security Graph to provide information to harden against current and future attack vectors and educate customers while increasing the cost of doing business for bad guys. So what's the usual infection chain for ransomware? Ransomware most commonly infects a device through email or a web browser, whether it's a malicious link or an attachment from an email perspective. And from a browser, it would be an exploit or a malicious download link where they would be able to enable a macro, a script, or an exe to download the ransomware to your device. Looking at the top ransomware encounters in 2016, all the variants can't be decrypted without the decryption key. So it's extremely critical to stop ransomware from getting onto your device in the first place. In regards to the two attack vectors that I talked about, email and browser, so from an Office 365 perspective, we analyze about 200 billion emails per month. 90 million of those or so are malware related, and like I said again, 90% of those 90 million are ransomware related. So we really want to stop that ahead of time. From a browser perspective, we spend a lot of time hardening our web browser to make sure that it's resistant to malware. There's a NSS Labs study, US Labs here that did an independent study on Edge, Firefox, and Chrome to identify security against socially engineered malware. They determined actually that Edge was the most secure from the three, and also it blocks SEM 16 times faster than its competitors. So what are the volumes and the trends? As we end 2016, we saw that device encounter rates for ransomware and their downloaders decrease. Doesn't necessarily mean that the ransomware is decreasing, but we're getting better at blocking it early from a downloader perspective and also stopping the spam. The attacks continue to extend beyond consumers in towards business and public sectors as they fall victim to threat. Some of the examples that you're probably aware of is like the municipal ransomware and some of the hospitals in California. What this tells us is that although we're detecting and blocking them early, we still want to make sure that we're aggressive against these attacks. So with our anniversary update that we did late last year, we've added capabilities that enable us to provide our customers a complete endpoint protection against latest malware threats like ransomware. We embed these detections and protection capabilities directly into our services our customers use the most. With this defense in-depth approach to security, we're able to prevent ransomware from getting to your device through edge browser hardening and greater smart screen filter URL reputation. We reduce the attack vector for emails by detecting malware early before it gets onto the device, and also through our advanced inline cloud ML and behavioral monitoring-based detections to help block at first sight. We were also able to detect and respond to ransomware through Windows Defender ATP Cloud Analytics and real-time infection pattern heuristics. The graph on the bottom right you can see here is our infection rates, encounter rates from Windows 10 to Windows 7. We've definitely done a lot of things to harden the Windows kernel and other things to make sure that we have that defense in depth from a Windows 10 perspective. With the upcoming Creators Update, we continue to improve on what we focused on Anniversary Update while adding additional layers of protection. We've updated our exploit mitigations, performed platform hardening script-based attacks, and being able to have context-aware detections for ransomware distribution vectors. We also added some new features for Windows Defender ATP, such as machine isolation and killing processes and quarantine subsequent execution of files. A lot of these investments into protection are offered to both commercial and consumer customers. And to talk a little bit more about that, let me hand off to Bill and Shaker.
Okay, number 2.
Can everyone hear me? Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Shaker, and this is Bill. And today we want to show you what we're introducing in the Windows 10 Creators Update. So in Windows 10 Creators Update, we're introducing the Windows Defender Security Center. Essentially, everyone must be familiar with Windows Defender, anti-malware, antivirus. What we're doing is bringing in Windows 10 Creators Update, all of the different security products all into one single pane to make it easy for the consumers to access all of their security settings, to get status and alerts on all of their different threats that they might be encountering, different security settings that might not be in the right condition. And we want to make it just a single stop for all of the people to go to see the device health. So we have 5 different pillars that we're focusing on with Windows 10 Creators Update. The first one is virus and threat protection, where you'll be able to see all of your virus and anti-malware threat information. You'll be able to run scans and change any settings and update your signatures if they're out of date. Device performance and health is where you'll be able to see all of your health report, any device drivers that might be out of date, that might need updating, and we'll alert you if anything needs to be updated so you can take quick action. Firewall and network protection is where you can manage all 3 of your private, public, and domain firewalls, and all of this stuff used to be in the control panel. We've all brought it into the Windows Defender Security Center. App and browser control is where you'll be able to manage your smart screen settings, which are basically managing all of your app downloads, all of your smart screen surfing or Microsoft Edge URL surfing, and detect any threats right at the browser or app download level. We've also added family options, which allow you to manage all of your device, your end user device, your family's devices, their security, and if they get alerted, you can manage all of it all from this one security console. So, as you can tell here, we've been alerted that the virus and threat protection, one of the settings is not enabled, the cloud-based protection. So I'm going to hand it off to Bill to explain why that's important and why we should enable it.
All right. You guys can hear me all right? Yep. So for those of you who don't know what the cloud-based protection is, it allows your machine, when it detects something that's suspicious, but it's not 100% sure whether or not it's malicious or not, it can actually call up to the Microsoft Cloud, where there are machine intelligence and heuristics-based detection logic. and in near real time get a decision sent back down to that box. What this allows us to do is see the global landscape of new threats and be able to protect your machines faster. So, yeah, so as Shaker had pointed out, one of the reasons why this badge is actually showing a warning is because the cloud-based protection is currently turned off. What I'd like to show you today is what will happen if you don't have cloud-based protection turned on and you encounter ransomware, and then how to mitigate this by turning on cloud protection, and you'll see how fast the detections actually occur. The cool part about this is that it's actually at the operating system level, and so you don't have to use Microsoft Edge in order to get the benefits of cloud-based protection. I'm actually going to demo this in Chrome to just show you exactly how this works. So imagine that you got yourself an email, and let's see. Oh, it's a little bit delayed, yeah? All right. All right. So this is a little test application that generates a brand new test piece of malware that essentially is like a ransomware type malware. So what we do is we actually can generate a brand new file. So let me go back to this site here. I'll generate a brand new file for us. All right. So the hash down here is going to represent the file when we generate it, and it's going to automatically download. So as that's doing that, it's downloading. Just to show you here, opening up in VirusTotal to show that this is a brand new file. File is actually not found for that hash. But if you were to click on this, luckily, you do have the safety platform smart screen that's trying to warn you against running this as well. However, I'm going to go ahead and click Run. And what it essentially does now is this box now has been infected with a piece of ransomware. Now, this is just a test sample of ransomware, so I don't have to worry about Shaker's machine not coming back up online. But now what I'll show you is actually turning on the setting inside of Windows Defender Security Center. Okay. So this button here will actually turn on the settings necessary for you. You can actually dive down into the settings and change it, but for ease, I'm going to go ahead and turn on cloud-based protection. You get the escalation prompt to verify your setting changes. And you'll notice that the badge has now changed from a warning to a green check mark. So now this machine should be being protected from any type of malicious threats that the cloud can detect. And let's see. Sorry, there's a little bit delay on the demo box here, but okay. So let's download the sample again. Did it do it? Let's see. There we go. Okay. Now you'll notice here it says failed virus detected. And you'll also get a notification showing that Windows Defender has detected that malware. So this is that cloud-based protection. So make sure that that setting or this badge is actually showing green, and you'll be good to go, protected against this malware threats. Shaker or Tim, I think you wanted to say one more thing, yeah?
Thanks for spending time with us today. If there's any questions, please visit us at the Microsoft device booth. And then if you take a survey, you get a little clock. Cool. Thank you, guys.